Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so very excited to have you here. We're hanging on the couch. We have another sit and chat video, and today we are going to be talking about my 2025 best and worst books. I have a list of 5 for my top 5, and then I also have a bottom 5. I'm not going to do this in any particular order because I am thinking about doing a rank from top to bottom of all of the books that I read this year, so you might have to stay tuned for that video coming up if you do want to see my exact order on these, or at least as close as I can get to it. But we're gonna go ahead and start off with the bottom. We'll start with the negatives. So we'll start off with my bottom 5, so my 5 least favorite books that I read this year. And again, these are going to be in no particular order. So first off, I have Darling Girls. I don't remember anything about this one. I just know that I didn't like it. I know that I found the entire thing really boring, uneventful. There wasn't anything going on. I wasn't really caring about what was going on. And again, if I can read it and then have no idea what it was about, it probably wasn't that good, let's be real. Then I have The Heart Goes Last. This book, I was really struggling to understand what was going on. Not only was I struggling to understand what was going on, but I was struggling to enjoy it, to finish it, to want to finish it. I had no desire to continue this story at all. I really didn't care for it, and again, it's one of those that I don't remember much about now. I just read it and dumped it. There's no room in my brain to even keep a sliver of a hint of what that book was about because I just obviously didn't like it. I obviously don't ever talk about it except for something like this. I didn't care. I still don't care for it. Yeah, not good. Really boring, really odd. It kind of kept going on, things started happening, and I was like, I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't like feeling like that either, so it's on the bottom for sure. Spread Me. I did not like that book at all. I thought it was very weird and very uncomfortable to cross a horror book with a deep-rooted sexual whatever. Obviously that kind of correlates in a way, but the fact that this lady was off in a desert and she was with like 6 other people and they're there for however many years tasked to do something, no idea what they're tasked to do. They find this specimen outside, they bring it in, and it ends up infecting everybody, and she is attracted to said specimen. Not for me. That's not my type of book, not my type of content, not really into that. I think it's just really weird. I don't really even care about the themes that it could or could not have been trying to explore. I'm so fine without that. I would have been fine not reading it. I wish that I DNF'd it when I wanted to. I guess I just let curiosity get the best of me. I think that this coming year I need to get better at DNFing books that I don't like, but sometimes I have an issue with wanting to see it out. I want to see where it ends up, and yeah, it didn't end up anywhere worthwhile for me. In that same realm, I have Wake Up and Open Your Eyes. I read both of those in my reading horror books video. I wanted to see if I could find any horror books that were actually scary. I did not care for this one. I think this one is a little bit better than Spread Me. I just thought it was really boring. The idea behind the book was not terrible. It was definitely very politically charged. I think it was taking hits on both sides, and it was fine in that aspect. The political nature of it, whatever, it was fine, and all of that happening wasn't that big of a deal, but it was just really boring, and I think the way that it was told and the way that the book was broken up definitely made for an underwhelming experience. I think once we found out just the gist of the information, I was kind of over it. I didn't really want to explore any type of getting out of the situation. I didn't really care about anybody getting back to their families. I was more open to it just being a slice of life in that particular type of world that they were living in, over it being some type of like apocalypse survival book. I think whenever it shifted into that direction, I didn't really care for it. I didn't really care for it in the beginning, and then we shifted that way, and I was kind of over it. Then lastly, for my bottom list, I have Shark Heart. Look, this book, I'm sure there was some type of meaning that I was supposed to get out of it, whether or not it was me experiencing loss and grief in that type of way, or just enjoying the storyline as a whole. I didn't like the story. I listened to it on audiobook and I did not like the narrator at all. I didn't like my listening experience at all. So that probably is what did it for me. I would have liked it better, I would assume, if I read it. I just didn't have any connection with any of the characters. I didn't connect with the guy turning into a shark. I had no emotions towards his misfortune, and obviously that's not what you want going into a book like this. It is obviously supposed to be kind of emotional. You are supposed to be able to feel that feeling, and I didn't get that at all. There was no part of me that was connected to them. I couldn't give a crap if he turned into a shark or a flying squirrel. Like, either way I would have been okay and like very content with the story. But yeah, I really didn't like it. I have no interest in people turning into sharks or other animals. I think I could have DNF'd that one, but I truly continued on out of pure curiosity. I could not just leave it hanging. I wanted to see where it went, and I saw where it went. Now I have my top 5. Again, no particular order. These are just my favorite books that I ended up reading this year. I will say I did go back and I looked, and I did not give a single book a 5-star this year. The last 5-star book that I rated was Ready Player 2. So that was kind of disappointing. I have not had a 5-star book since last November. It is what it is. I'm not that mad about it. I think for me, 5 stars is really like a medal of honor, I guess. I'm not going to rate a book 5-star unless if I'm continuously thinking about it, and I would 100% reread it again. I need it physically. I have to get all of those emotions, and I have to just really feel connected to the story, and I didn't. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these are really great. I really loved them. I had a fantastic time reading them. I do still think about some of them frequently. Obviously some of these I've read more recently, so I am thinking about it a little bit more than I usually would. Obviously I didn't give them a 5-star, but they are top of the list for this year. These are the best ones that I have read. Starting off with The 7-Year Slip, I enjoyed that book so much. I thought it was a really sweet but really emotionally driven book. I think the way that it was written just made it feel really, I don't want to say heavy, but it just made it feel a lot deeper than I would get out of a normal romance book. I don't know if that would even be accurate or if other people would even agree with that statement, but that's just kind of how I felt with reading it. I've read other romance books that have deep-rooted issues. They have traumas that they're working through, whatever the case is. This one didn't necessarily have those traumas, issues, or anything like that, but I still felt more emotional towards these characters. I felt more emotional to the storyline and kind of what they were going through. It almost just felt like a movie. It stopped feeling like I was reading a book, and I was just in the world and just watching what's going on and witnessing what these characters are feeling, and I like that far more. I just think a lot of other books that do try to put a lot of emotion into the romance that's not romance, it's more grief, more heavy topics, whatever, that they're trying to dive into. I don't even feel as much connection to that as I did for this one. I would highly recommend that one if you haven't read it, but I'm sure most everybody has at this point. Next, we have 5 Broken Blades. I'm really enjoying that series. I still have not finished it. I have 1 book left in it, but I thought it was really good. The idea behind this slight magical world where people are out to kill this god king that they're not actually sure if they can kill, and having to come together with a group of like 5, 6 other people, whatever, to try to accomplish this one goal based off of the talents that you individually bring to the table. Really good. I thought it was so fascinating. I thought going into book 2, crazy. The plot twist that we got for book 1 was insane. Going to book 2, again, just even better. I really did enjoy that, like the book 1. I'm not putting both of them on here just because I want to do more of a variety, but both of those really high up on the list. Then we have the Inheritance Games. Obviously, I just read that one. Absolutely loved it. It was so good. I love books that are like that. Fast-paced. There's a mystery aspect involved. We're kind of following along with them trying to figure it out. I love getting that wow factor. I guessed it, or I put the pieces together right before it actually tells you what happens, and I was getting all of that out of the Inheritance Games. Again, I did read the second book for that one as well, so I am on book 2 of that. I really enjoyed book 2 as well. Both of them were just on the same level of good. It wasn't like book 2 was lacking in any way. Usually I would think that that is something that happens frequently, but loved it. Absolutely kept me hooked. This next one I read whenever I first left my job, so I hadn't been reading at all. I literally just listened to audiobooks for the better part of a year, but I read Better Than the Movies by Len Painter. That was a very sweet, fun romance to get into. I really liked the enemies to lovers. I liked watching them come together. I liked the whole kind of fake dating, intermingling in between that, the bet to try to get one person to do this and this person to do this, but then at the end, through the bet, they come together. I thought it was really sweet. I liked it. That one was a good one that I read this year. Very nice romance. Kind of cheesy, but still, nonetheless, I really enjoyed it. And then the last one on my top 5 list is the Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hit. I listened to this one on audiobook as well. Absolutely 10 out of 10 narration. I think it was it Elle Fanning or Dakota Fanning? One of the two ended up narrating that. And it just felt so realistic. I think something about hearing a familiar voice with audiobook narration, it really just brings the story to life in a way that I can't explain. It makes it far more believable, but it also brings you into the story more. It gets you into it in just this fantastic way. I absolutely loved listening to her narrate this one. I think that if it would have been anybody else, I would not have liked the narration anywhere near as much. I thought that the story felt so real. It almost felt like a Taylor Jenkins Reid book in a way. The aspect of it feeling like a real world book, it felt like it was a real thing that was happening. It feels like this is a little slice of history that we are looking into, not just this fiction book with made up characters that we've never seen a day in our lives. It really felt like a sister group that is no longer together, no longer making music, and we're just kind of watching the fallout of everything that happened and the way that the sisters ended up, you know, kind of screwing each other over, screwing each other out of what they wanted, whatever. And it was fun. I really liked that one. So that one is definitely on my top 5 for sure. But that's it. Those are my top 5 and bottom 5 books of this year. Those are my best and worst of 2025. Let me know one of each of your top and bottom. Let me know what your favorite book was and your least favorite, or just a couple of them. Let me know if you agree with kind of any of these on the list or if you completely disagree with me. But as always, I greatly appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for joining me and hanging out with me and listening to me yap about my favorite and least favorite books. And I hopefully will get to see you in the next one tomorrow. See ya!